Hi guys, I'm Matthew Dispa from Holistic Horsemanship, and today we're advancing in our series Horses Made Simple. Soon guys, in our next videos, we'll start covering the practical sides of horsemanship and groundwork, and we'll get into how to use body language and energy when we interact with horses. But before we get there, I wanted to make a quick video about how to prepare your horse so your groundwork session goes as well as possible. There are many different dimensions of a horse's life that we have to think of, so horses are in the best state possible, so they are balanced both physically and mentally before we even start interacting with them. These are what I call horses' non-negotiable needs. So what do I mean by that? Well, horses' most basic needs are water, food and shelter. Without these, your horse can't survive. And we'll cover these needs in future videos. If these needs are not met, then we talk about animal abuse or neglect. But there are other needs that have to be covered so your horse can have a balanced lifestyle, which is the best preparation he can get in order to be ready to interact with you. First need, companionship. As we saw in previous videos, horses are social beings that should live in groups, never alone. I live and work in Denmark, and in this country, it is actually forbidden by law to have a horse alone. There should always be at least another horse to keep him company. If you are in an emergency situation and can't find a second horse, well, take a donkey, or a mule, or even a goat. Make sure your horse is never alone. Now, 2 horses is the bare minimum. A group of 4 or 5 horses would be far better already, and 8+ individuals would be ideal, so you start having interesting social dynamics within the group. Second need, open spaces. Horses need to move, and ideally they need to move a lot to stay fit and in good health. Therefore, they need a lot of space to be able to cover their needs for movement. So by open spaces, I mean at least a field. Once again, it is the bare minimum, and we should aim at doing way better than that. So ideally, you need at least 5 hectares for 3 horses. So there is enough for them to eat and move without destroying the land, and there is enough variety in their environment so they don't get bored. Third need, healthy feet. Hoof care is going to be covered in our second series called Hooves Made Simple, but let's cover a few basics here. Healthy hooves are the foundation of your horse, both literally and metaphorically. First, a horse can't be healthy if his feet are not. It doesn't matter if your horse is an amazing dressage horse or jumper or endurance horse. If his feet are not healthy, he won't be able to perform at its best. And in the worst cases, he won't be able to perform at all. Now, secondly, you might have an amazing connection to your horse, and you might have built a beautiful relationship to him. If he's not healthy on his feet, once again, what you'll be able to do with him will be very limited. Just to keep it simple for now, what I mean by sound feet is hoofs that are healthy, strong and flexible enough to provide the horse with comfort at all gaits and on all surfaces. I'm going to repeat that. What I mean by sound feet is hoofs that are healthy, strong and flexible enough to provide the horse with comfort at all gaits and on all surfaces. And by that I mean, of course, without shoes. Later on, we'll talk extensively about the common practice of shoeing and its destructive consequences on horses' feet. We'll see how shoes prevent the foot from functioning normally and developing naturally, or they prevent the horse from feeling the ground under their feet, affecting negatively his proprioception, and how shoes are the main cause of severe injuries, hoof problems, and diseases. But we won't cover this topic right now. At this stage, the most important is to remember that clean, strong, healthy, flexible feet are a non-negotiable need for a horse to be at his best when we start doing groundwork with him. So to sum up, on top of horses' most basic needs, water, food, shelter, there are other extremely important needs that we can't compromise with, and these are companionship, open spaces, and healthy hooves. Sadly, way too often, I see horses that are being deprived from these fundamental needs. They live in such conditions that these non-negotiable needs are actually taken away from them. So first of all, a horse confined to a box doesn't meet his need for companionship. Being social from a horse's point of view is to move together and to move each other, to touch, to feel, to sniff, to groom, to fight, to have sex and to play. That's a horse-balanced social life. If a horse is standing in a box and can only see other horses standing in boxes themselves, then his need for companionship is not met. On top of that, if a horse is in a box, he barely has the space to turn around, but he doesn't have the space to walk. So that's the equivalent for a human of being locked inside a phone booth. So you can clearly see that the need for open spaces that a horse has and his need for movement is not met when he's confined. So these are very simple but extremely important things to keep in mind in order to prepare your horse as well as possible before you even start interacting and building a relationship with him. All these dimensions can be improved in order to bring balance to your horse, both physically and mentally, and give you the best chances of building a beautiful, respectful and trustful relationship. I hope this helps. Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.